Hi, it's Clemmy from the NARM Clinic. So if you want to look after yourself a little bit better or focus more on maintaining healthier food and lifestyle choices, then this video is for you. As I am going to share with you my top 8 tips for adopting a healthier lifestyle and, most importantly, sticking to it. Now, there's more information on this on my website for the blog that accompanies this video, but I'm going to go through those 8 tips in brief now. So number 1 is mindset. So having a positive mindset around food can be a really, really important component. So focusing on what we can have rather than what we can't have or removing foods. We need to focus on what we can add in and looking at food choices in a more positive way. So for example, that can be something as simple as adding in a portion of vegetables with your supper, including fruits as snacks, trying out new foods. So when you go to the supermarket, pick out a fruit or vegetable that you wouldn't normally have or you haven't tried and try that this week instead, or experimenting with new recipes, textures and flavors. Number 2 is building a balanced plate. So this is really important and can help to give our bodies all the nutrients that they need to thrive and to sustain our energy levels during the day. So I've created a handy infographic and a visual to help you build a balanced plate, which you can find on my website, and I will link to it as well in the blog, so go and check that out. Number 3 is include more plant foods. So we know that including a diverse range of plant foods in our diet is really good for us and not only helps to provide all the nutrients that we need, but also helps to feed our gut microbes. So those are all those bacteria, fungi and yeast that help to keep us healthy. And research has shown that people with the most diverse microbiomes, which are linked to better health, include 30 or more plant-based foods a week in their diet. So that's fruit, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, legumes. And I would encourage you to write a list of the different plants foods you've had so far this week, and have a look where you are on that list. And if you're quite far down, if you're only at 15 or so, 20, then look at the rest of the week and see how you can incorporate other plant foods into your week. Now, this doesn't have to mean that you have to be completely plant-based at all. It just means adding more plant foods in where you can, and there are really simple ways to do this. Like ordering a side of veg when you go out with a main meal, picking something else that you wouldn't normally do, like I've covered already. Or if you're cooking something like a stew or a shepherd's pie, perhaps, halve the meat that you'd use and make up that quantity with green lentils, for example, or chickpeas. And you're just adding in that fibre and adding in those plant foods. Number 4 is get breakfast right. So what we eat for breakfast can either set us up really well for the day ahead, or it can negatively impact our energy levels and our mood and our food choices for the rest of the day. So including some protein with your breakfast, some fibre as well, and some healthy fats can really help to balance our energy levels during the morning and for the rest of the day, and help to keep us full until lunch and prevent that classic mid-morning energy slump. And that's something I discussed in my video last week. If you haven't seen it, then go and check it out. So opting for lower sugar cereals or granolas, I really like Lizzie's low sugar granola, and there's also a new brand called True and something called Bio Me, which I really like. So helping to kind of lower that free sugar intake, and adding berries or whole fruit instead can provide one of your 5 a day and can provide that sweetness and fibre and extra nutrients. And also try experimenting perhaps with a savoury breakfast like eggs on wholemeal toast with perhaps some spinach or mushrooms on the sides. I'm always encouraging clients to try and switch up their breakfast and work out what really works for them and makes them have the most energy and makes them feel most well. And also, maybe it's not that you need to change your breakfast, you just need to add things to it to add nutrients. So for example, if you enjoy having porridge in the morning, adding berries and some nuts and seeds to that, or perhaps some natural yogurt, or stirring in some ground almonds whilst cooking can really help to add that protein and those nutrients in there. Number 5 is fluids. So it's really important to keep hydrated during the day. That helps support your energy levels again, and helps to keep us feeling well. Now, there are lots of different schools of thought on how much we should be drinking every day, but it really is quite individual and very much depends on your age, how much you exercise, what the different foods are that you eat. So it can really vary, but a good way to monitor how hydrated we are is actually to look at the colour of our wee. So it should be a very pale straw colour. If it's any darker than that, then this is probably a good indication that you should probably be drinking a little bit more water. Now, I think it's a really great thing to start your day hydrated. You've obviously spent hopefully 8 hours in bed asleep, not drinking in the evening, so you can wake up feeling a little bit and being a little bit dehydrated. So having a glass of water first thing in the morning when you get up can be really helpful. And a way to remember to do that is to take a glass of water with you when you go to bed in the evenings and have it by your alarm clock. And when that goes off in the morning, when you get out of bed, drinking that glass of water to start your day on the right foot. If you're someone who doesn't really like the taste of water or you struggle to drink it, then try flavouring it with fresh lemon or other fruit, or perhaps try sparkling water, and herbal teas are great too. And despite the myths that they are dehydrating, black tea and coffee are also hydrating and do provide fluid and count towards your fluid intake. But if you're watching your caffeine intake or it's after midday, then opting for water or herbal tea is certainly a better option. Number 6 is don't try to be perfect. So there's no such thing as the perfect diet, and we're all completely different and completely unique and have different nutritional requirements, different genes, different likes and dislikes. So just experiment and find out what works for you and your body, not anything else. So, and it's also just the little things that you can do each and every day, like drinking that little bit more water, adding those more fruits, increasing that fruit and vegetable intake. It's those little things, if you do them consistently, will have the biggest impact on your health longer term. So you don't need to be perfect, just do little things that you can. And also it's important to remember really on this point that as well as nourishing us, food is about much more than nutrients. It's about pleasure, it's about taste, it's about texture, and it's all part as well of social connection and so many other important things. So it's important to remember that as well, and food must be enjoyed. Number 7 is small steps. So if you want to make positive changes, then do these in easily achievable steps rather than trying to overhaul everything in one go. It's really difficult because we form habits over many months and many years even. So changing these and building new different habits can actually take time and can perhaps be challenging. So if you want to start making positive changes, start with just perhaps 1 or 2 a week, whatever is manageable for you, and then build on them from there once you've got those 1 or 2 habits into your daily routine. And number 8, last but certainly not least, is be prepared and keep it simple. I think this is one of the most important tips. So stock your cupboards with your essentials, have your go-to recipes that you know you can cook quickly and easily when you're short of time. If you can, it's a really good idea to plan a little bit what you're going to eat for the week and to do a weekly shop. You don't have to stick to it rigidly, but not only is it cheaper doing it that way, but it also means you always have something to come home to in the fridge. When you come home after a long day and you're tired, you know there's something there in the fridge that you can cook. So when you do cook, when you have time to, cook multiple portions, and then you can save the leftovers for perhaps another night in the week where you know you're going to be home late. Or perhaps you have the leftovers for lunch the next day, or freeze them for another week where you know you're not going to have so much time. So my favourite quick and easy go-to meal is something like lentil or brown rice pasta with some pesto that we always keep in the fridge, loads and loads of veggies, just lightly stir-fried, and some prawns as well chucked in with that. So all ingredients that I've either got in the fridge or I know I can really quickly pick up on my way home, and it takes about 15 minutes to throw together. And another one is a simple stir fry. So again, things that you can pick up on the way home, and you know that you can throw them together quickly and easily. Those are two recipes that we have really regularly, probably once or twice a week in my house. So it just shows you really don't have to be a culinary expert, and you really don't have to reinvent the wheel to eat a healthy diet. Often simple really is best, and it's good enough just to do enough. So thank you so much for listening. I hope that was helpful, and we'll see you again soon.